everyone, what's up? Alright, we're here in the Philippines because I'm a Filipino and I'm from here. So again, spendthrift guys here. Okay, today we're gonna talk about prepositions. Okay, prepositions. Prepositions. Okay, there are lots of prepositions in the English language, but we're gonna talk some of the few, okay, and we're gonna focus on the three most common prepositions here in the Philippines, commonly used prepositions here in the Philippines. These are at, in, and on. So we're gonna talk about these prepositions, okay? So when are we going to use these prepositions, okay? So without further ado, let's start right away, okay? Let's start from the more specific preposition here, at. Okay, at, okay? So when do we use at? We use at when we're talking about more specific time, okay? More specific time or precise moment that you are talking about, okay? When you refer when you talk about the precise moment, the exact time that you want to talk about, okay? So we use at for more specific time, more precise, okay? Okay, to to give the listener, okay, the idea about the exactness of the time you're talking about, okay? So at. That's when we use at. For example, okay, let's say for example, we had left the bus station, okay, when, alright, so we had left the bus station at the time when people began to gather up. Okay, so here in this sentence, we had left the bus station at the time when people began to gather up. It's more specific time, okay? We give the precise moment when we had left the bus station, okay? So when was that? When people began to gather up, okay? So here we use at because we want to tell the exact time when we had left the bus station. So we use at for more specific time at the precise moment, okay? The precise moment. Usually at comes with the phrase the time when. We can say that at plus the time when, okay, or simply at plus maybe time or at that time, okay, or at plus time, at time, okay, and okay, on that case we can use that formula or pattern, okay, for easy reference, so we could easily remember, okay? Since the at preposition is more specific, so we give the exact detail of what we are talking about. In this case, we're talking about the time when people began to gather up. So the pattern, at plus the time when, then you describe, okay, you describe that time, what happened, okay, what happened, so your listener would understand, okay, the exact time that you are talking about. Then you can also use this at plus that time, okay, all right, and it's understood that it's a specific instance that you're talking about, or at plus time, okay. You can also use pattern, but these patterns aren't limited to this, okay. There are lots of patterns. You can search on the internet if you want. But for the beginners, we can start with these patterns, okay? Right, let's move on. Okay. So at, sorry, my eraser doesn't work well. Okay, I don't know if this is a permanent marker or whiteboard marker. Right, anyway, let's change this. Hold on. Alright. So where's my goddamn whiteboard marker, man? Okay, moving on. So at, okay, we use also at plus the time, okay, the time or the hours of the day, all right, that we are talking about. For example, right, when we talk about time, we talk about 1 p.m. to 12, something like that, or 24 hours. Right, or round the clock. We're talking about time. Okay, we're talking about the clock. Okay, tick tock, or something like that. Okay, so time. Okay, for example, sample time is 1 p.m. Okay, or 12 a.m. something like that. Yeah, so the hours of the day. Okay, so at plus the time. For example, okay. Okay, let's talk about at plus the specific time of the day, okay, or plus the specific time that we're talking about. Okay, we use at for specific time, like for example, at 8 p.m. Okay, so this is the time, okay, the 24 hours of the day. Okay, so if you want to use if you want to talk about the time based on your watch, okay, you use the preposition at. Okay, and if you want to tell if you want to say that it's noon, okay, you use also the preposition at with the word noon. Okay, why? Because noon is a specific time, that is 12 p.m. and at midnight we use at because midnight is specific time, which is 12 in the morning. Okay, so that's it for at plus your time pattern. Okay, and also you can also use at for holidays. Okay, holiday season. Okay, holiday season. Okay, like I told you, you can use for holiday season. We use at for holiday season. When we say holiday season, okay, it's not a specific day. Okay, meaning it's the time when that season. It's the time when a specific occasion or holiday is fast approaching. Okay, for example, New Year. Okay, when we use at if we refer that that New Year is already within reach. Okay, but we are not talking on we are not talking on the exact New Year's Day. We are talking maybe 3 days before New Year, or one week before New Year, or even a month before New Year. So we can use at, for example. So let's see each other at New Year, okay, or something like that. So we use at plus the holiday season, okay, New Year. Okay, holiday season, it's not a weather season. Okay, it refers to a certain occasion or celebration, okay, around the world. So we use at for that particular instance. Okay,
So we use at plus New Year, or other example of season is let's say Christmas. Okay, Christmas. Christmas. Okay, so if I wanna talk about the if I want to talk about time, if I want to talk about time during the Christmas season, I'll use the preposition at. Okay, so again, Christmas season is not necessarily the exact Christmas day, but it's the season it's the season when Christmas is fast approaching, okay, or almost near. Okay, for example, like I've told you, 1 week, maybe 1 week before the Christmas, or even a month before the Christmas, or even 2 days before the Christmas, or even a week before the Christmas. So I use at. Okay, so that's how we use. Okay, let's move on to the next preposition. Let's talk about the preposition on. Okay, so we use on for the specific day of the for the specific day of the week. Okay, we use on for the days of the week. Okay, so on plus day. Okay, so what are the days of the week? Okay, we got Monday, Tuesday, right? Wednesday. Okay, and so on and so forth. Alright, from Monday to Sunday. Okay, so we use the preposition on. For example, I'll see you on Monday. Okay, so I'll see you on Monday. So okay, so I visit grandma. No, I will visit grandma on Friday. Okay, or she usually go to church. She usually go to church on Friday. Okay, so we use the preposition on. Alright, so then the day of the week. Okay, so that's how we use on. So we use on for the specific day of the week. Okay, from Monday to Sunday. Okay, that's how we use on. We also use on for a specific for a specific day other than the days of the week. We can also use the preposition on for a specific day or occasion on a particular day. For example, okay, Christmas Day. Okay, Labor Day. What else? Valentine's Day. New Year's Day. So we're not only talking about the holiday season here, but we're really talking about the specific day at that exact on that particular day. Okay, where that occasion or holidays celebrated on that exact day. So Christmas Day, December 25. Okay, so Labor Day here in the Philippines, it's May 1. Okay, and Valentine's Day is February 14. Okay, and New Year's Day, of course, January 1. Okay, so we're talking about specific day, okay? Not the season, not the holiday season, but the exact day. Okay, New Year's Day, January 1, okay? So on that day only. February 14, Valentine's Day, May 1, Labor Day, December 25. On the exact day that any of these holidays are celebrated. For example, okay, let's go hiking. Let's go hiking on Labor Day. Okay. Or you can say she's going to Korea on let's say on Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day. Okay. So why did we use on for these specific holidays? Because we're talking about a specific day, okay? Not a week, not a month, but a specific day where these special occasions are celebrated, okay, on that particular day only. So she's going to Korea on Valentine's Day, which means that on February 14, because that's when Valentine's Day is celebrated. And here, let's go hiking on Labor Day, okay? They're referring specific day, which is May 1, okay? May 1, okay? That's the day that they were talking about, a specific day, not the season, okay? That's how we use on, okay, in a sentence. Okay, so again, on, we use on for if we're talking about any day of if we're talking about days of the week, like Monday to Sunday, and on if we're talking about a specific holiday, okay, on that particular day only, not the season, like for example Christmas Day, December 25, okay? So that's how we use on in a sense. Okay, so let's move on to the next preposition, which is in. Okay, so when do we use the in preposition? Okay, in. So we use in if we're talking about months of a year. Okay, so we use in plus month. All right, we use in plus month. Okay, and we also use in for parts of the day. For example, parts of the day, morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay, so we use in. Okay, and we also use in plus year only. Okay, we're only talking about a specific year. Okay, and we use n for centuries, for specific, if we're talking about a specific century. Okay, so that's when we use in. Okay, now let's put this into action. Okay, so let's make up some sentences out of this preposition in. Okay, okay, again, in, we use in for if we're talking about month. Alright, so in plus month. In if we're talking about parts of the day, which are morning, afternoon, and evening. So we use the preposition in. We're talking about that. and we also use in if we're talking a specific year, okay? So in plus year, then in if we're talking about a specific century, okay? So in plus century, okay? So let's put it into action, okay? So let's make up some sentences out of this pattern. So let's start first with in plus month, okay? So in plus month, for example, okay, let's say I will go to let's say let's make up some names, okay? Maybe let's say Joanna is celebrating her birthday in let's say November, right? November, okay? Okay. Okay. So another example is the first semester. The first semester starts in August. Okay. And we're gonna watch a movie, or okay, we're gonna watch a movie. We're gonna watch a movie. You're gonna watch a movie in say December, okay? In December. So there you have, okay? So we use in. We're talking about a specific month, okay? There. So that's your example. Since Joanna is celebrating her birthday, we use in because we're talking about the month November, and we use in because we're talking about the month August, okay? That's a time when the first semester starts, and then we use in because we're talking about the month December, okay? When we're going to watch a movie, okay? So there you have in plus month, okay? The next is in plus, okay, in plus parts of the day, okay? We got morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay, evening. Okay, for example, I eat breakfast in the morning. Okay, I eat breakfast in the morning. Okay, in the morning. So we use in because we're talking about part of the day, meaning we're not talking about a specific time. We're not giving a specific time when you eat your breakfast, okay? You're just generalizing it, okay? You're not telling about the specific time, but one thing for sure that you're eating your breakfast in the morning, okay? But not specific time, okay? Maybe 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or any part of the morning, okay? So maybe 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., okay? As long as it's morning, okay? So not sure what time, but one thing for sure, it's morning, not afternoon or evening, but morning, okay? But the time is not specified, okay? You don't know what time. Okay, let's move on. Another example, afternoon, same, okay? Anytime in the afternoon, okay? So, for example, okay, I'm gonna visit grandma in the afternoon, okay? To visit grandma. Or I'm gonna visit, let's say, Joanna. Okay, because I hate my grandmother, okay? In the afternoon, okay? So you don't know what time you're gonna visit Joanna, but one thing for sure, it's in the afternoon, okay? Not morning or not evening, but in the afternoon, okay? And then evening, okay? For example, let's say she watches The Simpsons in the evening, okay? This one, it's part of the day, which is evening, okay? And here, it's not specified what time she watches The Simpsons, but one thing for sure, it's not in the morning, not in the afternoon, but in the evening. But we don't know what time. But one thing for sure, it's in the evening, maybe 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, yeah, or something like that. Okay, so any time in the evening. Okay, we're not sure, but one thing for sure, it's in the evening. Okay, okay, so that's how we use the preposition in relation to parts of the day. Okay, let's move on to the other uses or the preposition in. Okay, so the other use of the preposition in. Okay, the preposition in. Okay, and we also use in for if we're talking about a specific year. Okay, okay, for example, I was born in 1979. Okay, I was born in 1979. Okay, I was born in 1979. So you're not telling the specific date, but you're only telling about the specific year when you were born. Okay, so we use the preposition in. Okay, because we're not using the date here. We're only talking about the year. We're not talking the specific date. Okay, so we use the motherfucking preposition in. Okay, right. That's a year. And another example is let's say the Philippine Independence Day was in 1898. Okay, so we use preposition in because we're only talking or telling about the specific year. Okay, not the specific date, but only the year. So we use the preposition in. Okay, alright, so let's move on to the other use of let's move on to another pattern of using the preposition in. We use also the preposition in. We're talking about a specific century. Okay, century. Usually century is equals to 100 years, right? Or you know, the period in history, okay, or something like that. Okay, so for example, okay, let's say the Greeks